This is a Fortean Slip News special report. So in case anyone wasn't aware, there was this photo that Steve and Matt found. And come to find out, wasn't what the man that presented it to Steve claimed that it was. Want to elaborate on that?
Let's be clear here. Let's be clear here. Steve was sent the photo from a friend, and the photo, Steve approached the man. I don't want anybody to think that he came to me, but I approached him. And why am I speaking about myself in the third person?
I don't know, but we should like clarify that this is about the Norm Glasser photo of a supposed Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever you want to fucking call it.
Dogman.
Norm Glasser's bullshit photo.
Right, Norm Glasser's bullshit photo that he came up with a nice little story for to explain why it was behind glass.
A wonderful, cool story, I might add. All bullshit, but a cool story.
Filled with adventure and fantasy.
I mean, this guy had a fucking backstory from when he was 12.
And he's old.
Yes, about how Bigfoots were throwing, trees at him and shit.
He was doing characters like Mr. Amos.
First of all, let's give Adam Bird some props for finding the true source of this photo.
Deserves the credit on this one.
The Sugar Flats Road creature, which is now on display in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So,
it wasn't stolen?
Not a hologram. I don't know. I couldn't find anything that said it was stolen.
Do you feel like you've been taken by one of those like mounted Sasquatches that's actually a deer's ass?
I feel like a deer's ass, yes.
Yeah.
Or a horse's ass, or, well, maybe just an ass.
But in all fairness,
Steve feels like he got taken by one of those fucking African fucking scams.
Nigerians called back, huh? But no,
he said I had a rich uncle, and if I ran the store...
But seriously, we didn't know what it was. I mean,
no, and
that was the whole point. So
yeah, we didn't make claim to know what it was. We just, I was trying to present it as an interesting photo and a possible Bigfoot, because that's how it was explained to me. For those people who think we didn't do any research into this, we had it for a while, a month now.
Yeah,
and. I guess it just comes down to we never saw the Sugar Flats Road creature while we were doing our investigation.
The papier-mâché mummy head.
Yeah, because we had.
Which, by the way, the photo looks a lot more realistic than the actual display.
Yeah,
well, I think a lot of that's due to the angle it was taken, the fact that it's in black and white.
It almost looks like the way with the angle that he took it at. It almost looks like it's looking down at him. From like you know how he explained how he took the picture.
Right. Well, yeah.
It almost looks that way, and then you look at the thing, and you can totally see how he took the picture through the glass and at such an angle that it gave that illusion.
Well, let's just get it straight. Even though I approached Norm. Norm has been presenting this as a Bigfoot for quite some time now, since July, I think, or June. And this was an intentional hoax on Norm's part. There's no doubt about it in my mind, because he came up with one fucking hell of a story. Pretty cool story, but fucking bullshit.
He had to have, like, put together some notes.
Yeah,
because you tried to trip him up several times.
Yes, Matt has heard the interview, so he would be able to also, he sounded convincing, did he not?
He did. He sounded believable. He didn't sound like he was making stuff up as he went along, which is exactly what he was doing apparently. But well, like we had discussed, if he didn't know the answer to something, he said he didn't know the answer.
The true sign of a hoaxer is when you ask them a question that they don't know the answer to, is they make up bullshit. And when I interviewed Norm, he did not do that. I asked him what the nose looked like because we can't see it in the picture. Was it more human or ape-like, whatever, And his response was, I didn't get a good, clear look at the nose. I mean, to me, that was a good answer.
Yeah, right? Basically, he was pushing the story as this scary thing was staring at the window through me, and I freaked out and got the hell out of there. I didn't take time to study it. I didn't take time to do an eyewitness drawing of the details of the face or anything.
Right. And the other thing that struck me is he did not try to make this sound like your typical Bigfoot sighting. He made it, I asked him arm length. He said, well, it was within human range, normal proportions. I asked him about the whites of the eyes, I believe. A lot of Bigfoot reports don't have that. He didn't. The thing is, he just seemed very convincing. And so I'm guessing he either has rehearsed this story so many times that he believes it himself, or he was reading notes while I was talking to him. This is the only two answers.
Either way, he filled you full of bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the shit got pretty high. And I needed, hip waders to get through it, apparently, even though I didn't know.
But like you said, we, sat on it for a while, and, we did a lot of background investigation. We just didn't find anything.
Well, yeah, the thing is, I even, I looked to see if Norm had past history of being called out on a hoax. He does a lot of paranormal investigations and has some iffy photos, with weird things in them, but that's rampant in the paranormal community, so apparently nobody claims hoax on those. And I'm not a paranormal investigator. I'm a Bigfoot guy. I don't know.
So, right, but there wasn't like any pictures of like a lady in a dress walking through a cemetery or anything. It was like orbs and mist and fog and just
right stuff that's left up to interpretation. Nothing that I could find was anywhere near what this photo was. So maybe I gave him a little pass on that because there was nothing to show that he would do something like that in what I could find.
Well, you had said, hey, if we put this photo out there and it's something that exists somewhere, somebody in the community is going to find it for us.
And they did.
And that's exactly what happened. So
right, Matt and I had that discussion, and we had also discussed, it could be a taxidermy head behind glass in a museum somewhere, and that's exactly what it turned out to be. Now I thought it could be a photo.
Conversation about if this is a fake, it's going to be a sculptured item of some kind, a display piece of some kind. It's going to have glass eyes. It's going to be in a glass case or behind glass, and it's going to be some kind of exhibit that he was just somewhere and saw it and took a picture of it.
And that's what
exactly what it was. 100% for us, man. Well, maybe it didn't play out quite that way, but we did have that conversation.
We agreed on that a couple of times.
Here, let us cover our ass with this story.
No, well, I don't think we're covering our ass at all.
I'm just fucking with you.
The thing is, as soon as we found out, now, my blog was a little late because I didn't find out till like 5 minutes before I had to leave for work. So I didn't have time to even look at the photos this morning when I was sent them by a couple different people. Matt did, and Matt and I discussed it and decided, okay, it's time to just, out him. So, I would have done it myself if I could have, but I had to go to work, got to pay the bills, what I'm saying?
Glasser's gay?
I'm not sure that He is. No, he's married. In fact, I even spoke
I'm
with
sorry.
his. I even spoke with the
record.
guy's.
You said you outed him, and I was like,
Well, outed him as a
Hey, you
hoaxer.
spoke with the man's wife.
Well, yeah. Right now,
who knows? It could have been
if Norm was standing here in my house and told me, "Hey, I'm standing here in your house," I probably wouldn't believe the motherfucker. I don't know, because the guy is. I mean, the guy is convincing. At least he convinced me, and I had let a few other people listen to the interview, not just Matt, and they were convinced because he sounds so believable. I think we're going to find in the days to come that there's more to this story, working on some angles there than what's put out there.
Well, I don't know. I'm assuming at some point you still intend on releasing the interview.
I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, to be honest. I could. We'll have to discuss that, Matt.
I think it would be great to have a follow-up interview with Norm.
Well, the thing is, although I wasn't the most polite person when I messaged Norm when I got home from work today, I did message him. I said, "Hey, we know what this is. It's the Sugar Flats Road creature. I don't like to be lied to." And Norm's seen it because on Facebook it tells you when somebody sees your post, but Norm has yet to respond, and I kind of think that he probably won't, but I do not know. But Norm, if you're listening, explain yourself, man. That's all we want.
Go fuck yourself. Either way, we really don't give a fuck.
It's clear. Phil Poling, your favorite, Matt, did the video today, the little breakdown video where he compared the two.
Unless Phil starts his video drinking a fucking coffee and saying hi there, I don't even want to watch it.
Hi there. No, actually, Phil was on this morning whenever this information came out. I, did a search, found better pictures than what we were sent of the head, and I could tell looking right away there's several distinguishing features where it matched up perfectly, but I did get a hold of Phil, and I was like, hey, as a neutral third party not involved in this thing, can you do a comparison between these two things and see if they line up? And so Phil was gracious enough to do that for us and make a little breakdown video showing that they do in fact match perfectly.
Well, I can tell you, as soon as I was able to view your blog today, and you had posted the Sugar Flats Road creature. I just like saying that. I'm going to say it a few more times before the show is over. As soon as I saw it, I knew. It was the eyes that gave it away, the positioning of the eyeballs.
Right.
Or the pupils. They're the exact same. One eye is bigger than the other, and it seems to be the same on Norm's hoax photo. And as soon as I seen the eyes, that's what I was looking at, and yeah, there was no doubt.
It doesn't
Norm's
take long
camera,
looking at the two pictures to figure out that it's the same fucking thing.
And it was covered in white hair.
Yeah.
So.
Had I found them independently of each other, I may not have noticed. Adam Bird apparently did, and I'm happy that he did, because the one thing I don't want to do is put out misinformation, and so either way, I'm glad the hoax is busted, even if it was at my expense. So, and now my boy is going to interrupt the show. Get out.
The Fortean Slip, busting hoaxes since 2013.
Busting one hoax.
But I would also like to add this for all the individuals who looked into this photo and criticized it horrendously as soon as it came out. You guys were correct. But I would also like to point out, because there were some people that really argued these points, it wasn't a mask. It wasn't a latex prosthetic. It's not wearing eyeliner. It's not a zombie from a movie. It's not Freddy Krueger. So you were wrong. And it's also not a dog man.
But it is the Bumble from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
It is the Bumble.
If you guessed head in a box, you are correct.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
I can tell you, when we discussed
what the fuck's in the box?
When we discussed that this could be a museum display, I never figured it would just be a fucking head in a box.
Like a sideshow guy.
I'm thinking a big, full-size display or something like that. And,
no, there's some Neanderthal exhibit or something, and this guy was at like the Smithsonian on vacation with his grandchildren. I wasn't expecting a head in a box.
No, head in a box. So we got. Wasn't there another? No, never mind. We won't even go there.
That was a dick in a box.
Something about a box.
Yeah, the next big hoax. Bigfoot's penis
in a box.
I think there was a Saturday Night Live video about that.
Get a box. Step 2.
Step 2, put your junk in the box. Well, can I see Nick on the show?
Say whatever the fuck you want.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you can say junk on the show.
All right.
Yeah, I've been party to this for, as long as you guys have been looking at it. And I've heard,
and stayed out of it like a wise man.
Oh yeah, and I was just like, it wasn't that I stayed out of it.
Chris is like, yeah, whatever, it's a picture, yeah.
No, hey, it wasn't my deal. That was my thing. It was not my deal. The information was presented to Steve, and I trust Steve as an investigator. As far as that stuff goes.
Maybe you should rethink that.
Yeah, no, I should rethink it because the motherfucker didn't even look into the sugar flat bush thing, road monster thing.
That should have been the first thing I looked at, is the sugar flat road creature. That should have been the first thing that popped in my mind.
But don't forget, we should DNA test our witnesses because
yes,
that is the only way that we can make sure that that's who they are.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm not going to take a swab of my witnesses. Especially over the phone.
Can I stick this Q-tip in your mouth?
I've also got this box.
But yeah. What the
And in our next story...
Yeah, we don't have any other stories. Are you fucking kidding me?
Scientists discover another breed of tapir. Who the fuck cares? There's a head in a box.
It's an alien.
Here's the thing. We could have defended this thing and said, no, here's the differences in this photo. This is why this isn't this. Fuck that. This is a hoax.
No, it's not a fallen over tree.
No, it's not a root ball. Fuck. Yeah. I mean, that seems to be the status quo in the Bigfoot community. Once you found out you've been hoaxed, you defend the fucking hoax. That is wrong. We're not defending this. Fuck it. It was a hoax. That's all there is to it.
And it was obviously very deliberate. Like you said, he had the elaborate backstory for it. He had the story included the fact that he took the picture through the glass in his car. I mean,
and that kind of got me because you can see the IR lights reflecting off the glass.
Right.
So when he said that to me, I'm like, yeah, that kind of makes sense.
He even said what kind of camera it was. The IR pattern lined up with the type of camera that it was. Right. He said that I don't know if he ever said it in the interview or not, but I know that I read on a forum that, he even claimed that, like, afterwards he went out and bought, like, night vision equipment. He was putting together a group of people to go out and kill this thing.
And then he told me in the interview, he told me he spent 3 nights there by himself in the woods. Even though he claims to be a pussy when it comes to being out in the woods. His words, not mine.
Yeah.
In the interview, he claims that he's a pussy, and he doesn't like being by himself at night in the woods. But yet he's a ghost hunter that likes to be by himself in old abandoned buildings, but not in the woods.
Or takes pictures of heads in boxes.
Yeah, and he rambled on about mountain lion sightings in his area, and it wasn't just about the.
And we also looked into the area, and it has a history of sighting reports.
And a gentleman that I was talking to last night who claimed that this could be a dog man also told me that area has that kind of history. So, and I looked into it. I couldn't find any that matched Norm's sighting, but, well, Norm's hoax. But, yeah, it does have that kind of history. So a lot of the things, I guess the stars just aligned.
Yeah, pretty much everything that we ran across, there was the possibility that it was true. I mean, he answered enough questions. Well, there was a good explanation
for everything.
Right. There was enough, is it possible that he's telling the truth on this? Yes, because we have this to look at. And like we said, we couldn't find anything that matched it. I mean, we looked, but obviously we didn't look good enough, apparently. But we got lucky. And
now go be a good journalist like your father.
Yeah.
I
apologize for my writing style on my blog where I'm actually trying to attract readers. I apologize for writing in that manner. I'll try to cut back on that.
Cut back on that, will you?
I will.
All right, guys, I'm going to have to cut out.
Yeah, this has been a Fortean Slip News special report. The Norm Glasser Bigfoot Hoax.